Hello, I'm Paddy from creativemedia.org.uk, and today you're only going to see my hands because I am doing a review of this here pen, which is a Pilot Parallel pen. I love all those P's. I'm not really any kind of calligrapher, so if you're here looking for impressive calligraphy, don't stay. But if you're interested in finding out about this pen, and I'm going to maybe show you a few things that the reviews I've seen have missed out on. So, just the basics of the pen. It's done like a kind of quill pen style. There's no. It's kind of infuriating, really. There's something that looks like a pen clip here, but lacks the actual clip bit. So you can't put it in your pocket, and also you probably find it's a bit too long to fit in a pocket as well, unless you've got super long pockets. All made of plastic, but it'll last for a long time, I suppose, which is a good thing about plastic. Inside there's a cartridge. It's not a standard Parker cartridge, it is a special Pilot Parallel pen cartridge, I guess. But if you're like me and you refill your cartridges, then you're not going to have to buy any of those. It's got a ball in as well, so you can hear it rattling around, which I think is a metal ball actually, unlike the plastic ones you get in some pens. So I don't know if that would be more durable, but it feels more kind of pro. I refill my pens with a inkjet refilling kit, a blunt syringe, not going to stick in me. Actually, this was given to me by somebody who's on some medicine, but I've reused it to suck up ink and refill my cartridges. So no buying plastic to refill my pen, which is part of the point. I use fountain pens, and this kind of pen is to cut back on the amount of throwaway stuff that I'm using. I've been using these Ecoline inks to refill my pens, and other inks like Quink and various other ones, Schaefer inks. I've actually refilled this pen with an ink which tends to block up my normal fountain pens, but it seems to work fairly well in this, probably because it's got a different kind of nib. When you get this pen, you should get some other bits with it, some Pilot Parallel pen parts. So you'll get a cleaner thing, a sucker thing. You kind of put that on where the cartridge goes, and you can blow and suck water through it, which cleans the nib nicely. And you get another cartridge as well, which I think they're two different colours inks. Yeah, that's intriguing piece of sort of mylar plastic. Might be mylar. It feels very much like an old floppy disk from people who can remember floppy disks. It feels just like that. That is for cleaning the nib when it gets dirty, so I'll undo that nib. And if you're very careful, you can push that between the two sides of the nib, which I've just done, and squish that around a bit and clean the nib out. It's quite an interesting nib. It's nothing like anything I've seen before. It's two layers of metal, and the ink kind of oozes between them quite nicely. Any other bits in here? Or just a manual. So why did I buy this pen when I've got several fountain pens already? Well, what really appealed to me is the interesting nib. When it comes out of the box, the shape is kind of triangular with a slight kind of sticky out bit on the sides like that. Like I said, there's two layers of it, and the ink kind of comes out. And the good thing about it is that it's an italic pen. You can do your italic writing. Whoops, let's get that in the shots. Italic writing with it. But if you write with the edge of it, you get thin writing, all from the same pen, which is quite magical. So you can do thin lines and thick lines. These come in a number of widths. I've got the, which size is it? I think it's, does it say on here? Yeah, 1.51, I think. No, 1.5 millimeters, I guess. And they come in thicker ones and thinner ones. This one for me has enough kind of a thickness for sort of that it's obviously an italic pen, but it's thin enough that I can, you know, write in my diary and journal and such like, and not have, you know, an enormous fat writing and use up loads of ink. So that seemed like a good compromise. By the way, the paper I'm writing on here is coated paper. It's 100 grams coated. It's actually old letterhead paper which I've saved from a company which was rebranding and getting rid of all this paper. If you can find the company that's rebranding and is willing to give away its paper, then it's a good way of getting some high quality paper to do your practice on, rather than going out and buying lots of expensive calligraphy paper. I've tried this on more normal cartridge papers and sugar paper and that kind of thing, and the ink just runs everywhere and it doesn't write so well. So the main thing I wanted to know is, can you write normally with this? Can I just write, normally? Well, yes, I can. I can use it as a normal pen. It's a bit scratchy, so it's not like a decent fountain pen or a rollerball or something. But you can see it'll scribble nicely on the edge, and not quite so well on the main thick tip, but it doesn't do a bad job. Some pens, if you try and draw a really fast line like that, they'll break up, but this is doing quite nicely. And remember, this isn't the standard ink that came with this pen. This is a very old Schaefer green ink, which I have had lying around for ages, and it didn't work very well in the pen I had in my fountain pens. I kept blocking them up, so I'd kind of marked it as just kind of do not use ink, but I thought I'd give it a go in this pen, and it does work quite nicely. So shall I try some very low-tech calligraphy with it? Or I don't know if I'll even call it calligraphy. Let's do a nice letter B like that. So I'm doing edge, and put some stripes on there with thin bits of the pen. And what I've done with this pen, you know, I said it was this kind of shape. Whoop. Well, what I've done, and I've seen this done by other people, is people have kind of cut chunks out of this. You know, they've cut a chunk out of the middle, so it draws two parallel lines. We could even, you know, cut several chunks out. I have cut off an edge, so I've removed an edge here in the hope of getting a thick line, a thin line, and an in-between line, and it does kind of work. That's my thinnest line. That's the sort of standard edge that it comes with. This is the other side, and you can see, I hope, that that's a little bit thicker, and then the full-on tip of the pen for the really thick lines. So in one nib I've got 3 different weights of writing, which I think is quite magical. That's the whole point of this pen, really, is to have that. So yeah, you can add extra bits and add a slightly heavier bit there, put some curves in, put some tiny dots down there maybe, and some dashes up and down, fill in those maybe, put some vertical stripes there, and some horizontals there. Yeah, so you can soon do quite a lot all with one pen. And another magical thing which this pen does, which Pilot tell you about helpfully, is it'll kind of do dual colour ink. They say if you get another pen like this and you touch the nibs together, it'll kind of suck in a bit of the ink from the other pen, and then the pens will gradually change colour. But you don't need another pen, you just need some ink. So I've got myself my yellow ink here in my green pen. If I just touch that into the ink, so I've got a yellow tip there now. This, hopefully, I don't know how long this will take, will change colour, so let's try this. So that started off very bright green. There you go. So we started off bright yellow, and then it's very rapidly changed to a kind of darker green, or the the natural colour that it was originally. You can check down here. I've drawn my lines. Yeah, so it's gone back to green pretty rapidly. And I've got a whole range of these eco lines, which is a very nice Christmas present from my outlaws, as it were. Let's give it a dip in some red now. Red and green. There, so it starts red, goes green, back to green again. So yeah, this is a very versatile pen, and if you're really into writing and into calligraphy, and just want to make the whole writing experience a bit more interesting for you, yeah, get one. They're about £12, £18, £12 in Britain. So not horribly expensive. If you leave them, for several days or several weeks, they still seem to work. You might need to run a bit of water over the tip, possibly, to get them back to life. You can do other things with them, like instead of using this cartridge here, you can take that out. I've heard people say you put a bit of Vaseline on there and just fill the whole body up with ink if you want something that will last a lot longer. But I don't imagine this is something you'd take away with you. You'd probably always be near some pots of ink and stuff to refill it. It's not really a carry-around pen particularly because of the length of it and the lack of pen clip. Though I reckon if you got some kind of cutter, you could maybe turn this into a pen clip, a pocket clip pen, by doing a bit of cutting here. That'd be an interesting project, or sort of build something onto it. I think that's all I can say about this pen. Go somewhere else to look for the calligraphy, but you can see what the pen can do here. Do share your opinions in the comments down below, and share your impressive calligraphy that you've done with this pen as well, so people can see what it can do in the right hands, which obviously is not these hands. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your inking.